Welcome back to Country Conversations. My name is Joey, and as always, I'm joined by...
Hey man, it's Chris over here. What's going on tonight, Joey?
Man, not much. We got an awesome return guest on the show tonight, Mr. Colby Acuff. How's it going, Colby?
How are we doing, everybody? Thanks for having me back on.
Yeah, man, it's been a while.
It has. It has.
A little over a year since the last time you were on, and you had a pretty wild 2021 from what I've been seeing on your social media and kind of following your Spotify page.
Yeah. We've had a hell of a year, man. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm super grateful for last year, and I cannot be more excited for this upcoming year.
Yeah, last time we talked, I believe it was January 29th of 2021, and your project, If I Were the Devil, was about to come out.
Yeah, it hadn't even dropped yet. It dropped February 15th, I believe.
Yeah, so that we kind of talked about that project, and we never really got to recap it, but man, that was a phenomenal project. I absolutely loved a ton of those songs, man. Obviously, the title track was awesome. It did really well for you. Dying Breed, That's another one of my favorites.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think the time that we were talking, I'm going to throw it out there. I don't know, but I probably had maybe 3,000 monthly listeners.
Yeah.
You guys were kind enough to let me come on the show. And that album really did change our career and our lives now, looking back.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny you brought that up, man, because that was something I wanted to talk about, because I looked at your Spotify, I think it was yesterday or the day before or something, and I think you were up to like 227,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Yeah, it's growing.
Awesome. And
that's wild.
Yeah, man. It's one of those things where, I don't know. It's hard though. It is weird because it's never, how do I say this? It's not like it's never enough, but you're always, this industry is really hard because you're always playing the comparison game.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I think, and that's something you got to avoid as well. It's like a huge thing I learned this last year is, stop focusing so much on the numbers and focus more. Because I think if you focus too much on the numbers, it takes away from what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
But that being said, you got to climb the ladder, and numbers are important.
Colby, is it hard to not look at the numbers and the streams and all that stuff like daily, or how do you and your team look at that stuff?
Yeah, well, for us, I don't want to say it in a bad light, but for us, the thing we've struggled with the most is it seems like, we're really proud of our last year. We worked our ass off, and we still have a small team. And, at this point, I understand we're still extremely new on the scene, but no one basically wants to touch us with a 10-foot pole to try to, keep that going. So for us, I have to still check the numbers every day because I still don't have a manager or a booking agent or a label or anything. So it's still, we're like, some people are like, oh, I'm independent. Well, we're like 1,000% independent. Like we don't have anyone from within the industry working for us.
Man, but you guys are killing it, man. You guys are putting in the work, and it's going to pay off for sure.
Right. We also look at the numbers. It's like, okay, you get to be happy and proud for about 1 second, and then you get to tackle all the other problems.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. Isn't that true?
You guys are always grinding, though, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to. When I kind of, and it's not like 100% or anything, but when I kind of, the fact that we're still in Idaho, like we're kind of making that stand.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that also, I don't want to say it hurts us because I think it actually helps us in the long run. I think we're doing something really unique that we can we have a lot of control in what we're doing, which is super nice. But that being said, we also got to kind of basically dig a tunnel through a giant mountain to make our own path. So,
yeah.
Now we love what you guys are doing, man. It's very traditional sounding. The instrumentation you guys have, the production, the lyrics, the songs. It's all great. We have high hopes for you. We know the sky's the limit for you guys. It's just going to be about the consistency that you guys have, and we know you got what it takes. So,
yeah, man, I appreciate it. I really do. And you guys, and once again, thank you guys so much because, you guys took me on the podcast when. We had nothing. There was no reason why you should have had me on. You know what I mean? And you guys brought us on. And it was super
except
nice.
You're making good music, man, which is that's the most important thing we care about.
For sure.
I know, and that speaks a lot to you guys. I appreciate it. Out of
Absolutely.
that point in my life, I still do this, but I was reaching out to 30 people every day just trying to get a post or get on a podcast or get an article or anything. And I think there was only 3 responses, and you guys are one of them. So,
Man, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
well, we appreciate that, man.
Yeah, we
So,
appreciate you reaching out to us too, man. And I've seen your social media. I know you're not a big numbers guy, and basically kind of what we talked about. You don't like to necessarily focus on that, but I did want to cover some of the numbers that I saw you posted,
yeah.
just to brag on you a little bit, because I mean this is impressive, man. As an independent artist, doing it 100, 1,000% yourself, with your team there. But yeah, you guys broke 15 million streams, 15 million total streams. I saw
Right.
31 sold out shows. You were
Yeah.
added
Yeah.
to 120,000 playlists
Yeah.
and 25 publications.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, once again, man, just an absolutely phenomenal year. And I think, I've been on record saying before, focus on your fan base, focus on your sound, and the numbers will kind of come, whether that's, the money or I mean, the social credit that you get from having the bigger numbers or whatever it is. I mean, and we haven't even, it's funny because like you work your ass off and you get to the point, but really for us, we've just only arrived on the scene. We're still super new. And for me, it feels like a millennia, but
oh, for sure.
for everyone else, we're just getting our first looks,
Yeah.
which is great. I mean, I love the spot that we're in, and so, I mean, yeah, but we did. I mean, we focused on our sound, we focused on our songs, we focused on our fans. And now it's really cool how you get to say this even, but I love our fan base. I absolutely love our fans.
Yeah.
Kind of looking back on the last year, obviously kind of still in the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, things opening back up. When you look back at 2021, what are some of the moments that kind of stand out the most to you and some stuff that really kind of jumped you all to the next level on stuff? What are you going to
Well,
remember most about 2021?
I mean, as far as the successes go, I mean, when we got picked up by Whiskey Riff and Grady Smith,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a game changer for us. I mean, so there's definitely some things in this industry for independent artists that if you get the stamp of approval, then you're kind of on your way.
Yeah.
And we just got really lucky, and in the same month and a half span, we got the stamp from both. So that was huge. But everything that happened in 2021, the things that I'm going to remember the most are the things that, I mean, I wouldn't say they went the worst, but things that we didn't go as planned, and we had an absolute ball doing them. And that's the kind of stuff that if we keep growing and, if success keeps coming, it's just one step. If you make one penny, you're succeeding. But if you keep making steps, things get more complicated. And then all of a sudden you don't have those, things almost run too smoothly.
Yeah.
If you get everything right where you want it, then it's not going to be that fun anymore. I mean, we did a tour down in Texas, and we had we planned it in a month, and we left and we borrowed this RV from my bass player's dad, and it broke down on us in the middle of Arlington, Texas, or just outside of Arlington, Texas at 3 a.m.
Man.
I mean, that kind of stuff is the stuff that I'm really going to remember for 2021, because I just think we learned so much. And that's, when you learn from stuff like that, that's really when you start making steps in the success path.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yep.
man. I agree
For
with you
sure.
there. Yeah, and I'm rewinding a little bit. I know you were kind of talking about the fans a little bit and how, you love the fans and everything like that. And you do have a pretty rabid fan base. I made a TikTok here, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe something like that. And I included you in our underrated country
Right.
artist series or whatever. And dude, there was just so many comments about Colby Acuff, Colby Acuff, Colby Acuff. We love Colby. Colby's awesome. Finally glad to see this guy getting some recognition, etc. And it's just cool to see, man. So yeah, your fans definitely do love you, and I think it goes back to you're just very personable, and you comment back and forth on social media with fans. I've seen that kind of stuff from you, and it's just very personable. You're very personable, and you have that connection with people that listen to your music. And I think that's awesome.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And I really appreciate you posting that too. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you including me in that. That was super nice. And, but yeah, I mean, the fans are great. I think, we've kind of pivoted ourselves in a spot where, as far as the fans go, I think we're in a good spot, and a spot that I'm really appreciative of, where we're not a one and done listen for people who like our music. There are people, what we're really seeing our traction from, which is what I really wanted all along, is, we're kind of the daily driver for some people in their playlist to go to work and back, and, things like that. And that is the kind of fan base I want. I want loyal, good fans. And I think from what we've done, at least, we've attracted those kind of people. And I could not be more happy with what we've done.
Yeah, absolutely. I know last year we talked about, Church and Tyler and Sturgill and, other artists. Obviously, that's their goal too. So,
Right.
there's obviously some roadmaps out there to kind of guide you along and not have to just chase that, instant success and then let it fade.
Right. And, it's definitely, it's funny because I think in the industry, at least for us, the way that we're doing it is the way that we are supposed to do it. I think there's a lot of, the reason why I also love this business is there's no ceiling, and you can do it any way you would really like to. There's a million different ways to be in the music industry, and this is just the way we're doing it. And I think we talked about this last time as well, which is where, I was modeling a lot after the artists that have a very loyal fan base, and that's kind of how we run our business. And nothing has changed from that. I think the more underdog we are, the stronger, that's kind of our thing right now.
Yeah.
It's like people want to buy into something that, and I mean, truly, I mean, we really are an underdog. I mean, everyone in the industry is like, who the hell is this guy from Idaho? Like,
Right.
what is going on? And, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good time to buy. It's been good.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man.
What's it like back home right now with everything that has gone on with you for the last year? I mean, are people just 100% behind you and it's just awesome, or I mean, what's the scene back home?
The nice thing now back home, at least, is I'm not just, some people don't actually know they know I play music, and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard a lot about you. How's it going? Some people don't actually know or really follow it at all, so they don't, understand. But I get played on the radio here all the time, and, we get a lot of good shows up here, stay real busy, sell out a lot of things up here. We have, I don't know, it's nothing really has changed. Nothing's too crazy. I mean, now it's just like, comments at the bar every now and then, or, like, oh, hey, man, I love your music. You're doing great, blah, blah, blah. But it's not,
Yeah,
every now and then take a picture, but that's real rare. So,
For now, anyway, right?
yeah,
well, I mean, shit, everyone in this town has known me their entire life. So not that big
Yeah.
a deal.
Gotcha.
The only nice thing is now, I guess, is sometimes, there's people in your life that will tell you to your face, oh yeah, like you're gonna make it, dude.
Hmm.
And they don't believe that at all. Or some people just straight up tell you that, you're not gonna make it and you suck. And it's good seeing those people.
Yeah.
I like seeing those people. They don't really say anything, but it's just good to see them around.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's about what it's like. It's nothing crazy though.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So you're working on some new stuff though already. You're cranking it out.
Yeah, man. I mean, third album in 3 years. This project is an album I've wanted to do my entire life. I'm super excited.
The debut single is coming out on February 18th, titled "Once in a Lifetime." Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about that song?
yeah. So Once in a Lifetime, it's got a really cool 70s outlaw feel. It's I mean, it doesn't take super keen ear to hear that it's got a lot of Waylon,
Hmm.
a lot of Waylon in it. And I really cling to Waylon this last year because we were on the road a lot, and it was just, you know, we were batting way above our head this summer. We were like, holy shit, this stuff's pouring in really quick. And anything we got, we would take, even if we were totally undergunned for it. We had to act like we were ready, and we were not.
Hmm.
We had nothing, like, we don't have a label or a manager or a booking agent to, pump funds in for things. And we didn't have, we don't have the cavalry as, so to speak, to back us up. So if we got something, we had to come up with it right then and there, and we had to go no matter
Hmm.
what it was. And so, that road life, and a brutal road life at that, and but really fun, I kind of took to that, and really inspired a lot on this album, including this single "Once in a Lifetime." It's also inspired from a dream I had this summer. In the last verse, it talks about how I'm having a dream where like I wake up in my bed and it's like all my country heroes are standing around the bed.
Hmm.
It's like Waylon and Hank Williams and George Jones and all these guys, and they're just standing still, and I'm like screaming at them, asking them all these questions, and they
Hmm.
just won't say anything. And then they're walking out, and Waylon just says, "We all had to do it that way." And I woke up and wrote this song.
Man, that's
Wow,
awesome.
that's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
I've
Yeah,
listened
it
to
was
it
a
a few
stress
times.
dream for sure.
Yeah. It's an awesome song, man. Just like what I said about your prior project, the production, instrumentation, lyrics, story. I mean, it's awesome, man. I'm excited for your fans to get to hear this, and people that may not be fans just yet get to hear it too. So,
Right, and that's what I'm really excited for is the first time listener to find this new album or this new track. Um, the title of the album, by the way, is called Honky Tonk Heaven,
Honky Tonk Heaven.
and
Okay.
the entire theory behind this album is I wanted to bring the energy because we picked up a live band right about when we were talking,
Okay.
or a five-piece band. Yeah, before it was just like me and my bass player, and every now and then we'd have another piece guy with us. But now we have like this huge rock and sound. And I wanted to take the energy, from the road and put it into an album so that we can share that with our fans and everything, when we can't get to Texas and we can't get to Maryland or whatever,
Hmm.
um, or the Midwest for that matter. So this album is just full of good honky tonk tracks, traditional country stuff. And we were really lucky. We got to go down and cut this album at Sonic Ranch in El Paso, Texas. So a lot of
Oh
Awesome.
really good
wow,
hands on this album.
That's fantastic, man.
that's cool, man. Did you record with some of the same people as before, or was this a whole new team, or what was the recording process like?
Well, you know how we are. It's always the same people.
That's
But
good.
no, we the this one's different because If I Were the Devil was recorded by three guys, as
Mm.
well as Life of Rolling Stone. I On If I Were the Devil, I played drums, mandolin, guitar, sang. Then we had my bass player who did the whistles for If I Were the Devil, played bass. He played he bowed some bass lines, and he sang harmonies. And then my producer played guitar, sang harmonies, and we did the whole album with three guys. But this one, we had the entire five-piece band, and then the producer that has done my last two albums, I flew him down to El Paso. Kyler Darren is his name, Den Studios in Boise, Idaho.
Mm.
He came down and he produced this album with me, and Mario Ramirez from Sonic Ranch was the engineer. So, man, we had so many good people on the album. I mean, we worked 8 12-hour days and could not be more proud of the work.
That's fantastic. Do you guys have a release date for the album just yet?
Not yet, but we have some release dates for other things. We're doing it a little different, and I'm
Hmm.
also really excited to announce this as well. But um, we're going to radio with some of these tunes.
Oh man, is this
That's
breaking
good, man.
news? Has this been leaked anywhere else, or?
It might have been discussed at another spot, but
Oh
it's
man.
pretty fresh.
All right, we'll take
It's
it.
That's right.
You'll probably be the first ones to drop this though if it's coming out next week. But yeah,
Sweet.
it is going to radio. This song will go to radio, and then we'll do three singles though, and then expect the album sometime May or June.
Okay, not too far off.
Yeah.
No, no, no. I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna release basically three songs until then. So we'll drop this one. We'll drop another tune just to streaming platforms called Last Buffalo in April, and
Mm,
then we'll probably be dropping Bad Day to Be a Beer in May.
nice. And you've teased those on social media. I think all three of those, right?
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
it's
they're
hard for
good.
me. I'm non-complacent person. Like I
Hmm.
get impatient with things,
Yeah.
and so by the time I mean we cut this album in November, right before Thanksgiving. And it takes a long time to do an album, to get it done, mastered, and mixed. And by the time January rolls around, I'm tired of listening to that album.
Yeah.
Ready for what's next?
I want new stuff. So I've listened to every song on that album 800 times a piece. So I'm good, and
Yeah.
I need it's on to the next.
One question I was going to ask you, Colby, is it weird to kind of leave stuff in the past and move on to a next project, or are you just always excited for what's next?
Oh, it's so easy, man.
Yeah.
I love it because once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a little bit persnickety about some things because I want it to be good. Obviously, I want it to be great. Every project that anything we touch has to be perfect. You cannot miss. If you miss in this industry, that takes a year to get back. You
Most
know, I
definitely.
mean, it's just really hard in the position that we're in to afford a loss.
Mm-hmm.
So once it's done and once we release something, I know in my mind that I'm happy with it because I can't drop anything unless it's good in my mind. And so once we're done with it, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. You know, it's like I said, it's one, and I like it. I mean, that's why I love my job. I think it's because there's so many fires to put out all the time. And I don't mean that as a complaint. But I
Right.
also always say I love my job because I can bitch about it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think, you know, every anything that is good that happens, I think always starts with a problem.
Yeah.
It's always like, hey, we need to do this. How do we do it? We do it, then we go to the next. So yeah, I think for us, we move pretty efficiently from problem to problem.
Now, are you guys on the road currently, or you guys got any shows booked up for this year yet, or?
Yeah, so we got some spring stuff coming up. We haven't booked too much for the summer yet, but as of right now, we're hitting the road again. We took 3 months off because we played 60 shows or whatever
Mm-hmm.
this last summer, and by the time we went to El Paso and back, I was done. I
I
did a
bet.
10-day trip in Mexico. I turned off my phone, and then came home and did the holidays. And we played New Year's Eve up here in Idaho. It was a great show. Kind of took off the rest of January, and then we just started up again. We go to Great Falls, Montana to open up for Diamond Rio the 17th of February.
Sweet.
Then we got a couple headlining shows again in Montana. Then we go to Boise, Idaho. Mostly up here though, all kind of in the inland northwest areas where we're going right now.
Sure. So you went to El Paso last year. I know you went to Nashville for a show. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it to that one, but
Right. Yeah, yeah. That was another really cool thing that, I kind of forgot to touch on things that success wise. Like the trip to Texas was great and the trip to Nashville was phenomenal. I got to meet so many really cool people. I got to play my own show at the Live Oak, which was a phenomenal experience. I mean,
yeah.
everyone we've met this year has just been great. Everyone. I mean, I don't know. We've been real fortunate.
That's awesome, man.
Are you going back to Nashville at all this year that you know of, or anywhere kind of over this way at all, Midwest?
I was supposed to be there right now, actually,
Oh
but we
wow.
picked up this Diamond Rio show, and so I had to cancel.
Oh yeah.
Um, I was just gonna come hang out and shake hands for a month because we didn't have anything, but things
Hmm.
change.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I
for
might
sure.
be out that way mid-July.
Okay. Cool, man. You'll have to let
Yeah.
us know, man. I'll keep up with your socials, but yeah, if it's anywhere close, hopefully this time around we can make it. I think I had some family stuff or something come up last time you were in Nashville and just couldn't make it, but
No,
I
no, no,
did.
it's all good, man. For me, I know I got to be in Nashville a few times, and we can't be playing any full like big band shows because one of the band members is having a baby July
Uh,
17th. So I got a couple weeks, and so I think that'd be a good time to go to Nashville and play some rounds and write with people and just hang out, drink some beers.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure, man.
absolutely. Was that your first trip to Nashville when you went last year?
It was, yeah. I mean, for me going to Nashville, I think I probably said this as well last year, but going to Nashville for me was always I wasn't going to go unless I was invited
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not going to go knocking on a bunch of doors that are already closed.
Yeah.
I knock on enough doors that are just barely open enough. I mean, so we were super fortunate though. Ray's Rowdy really liked our stuff and they host around there at the Live Oak and they reached out to me personally and invited me to come play around. And so I went and it was great. And so if I go back, that's what I was kind of supposed to do. I had a couple rounds I was going to play in February, but um, when I go back, I'll be playing a few rounds. I'm sure I'll be playing that one and hopefully a few others.
That's
Hell yeah.
awesome, man. Yeah, Colby, I mean, when you were in Nashville, did you get to meet anybody that is kind of, on the same kind of path that you're on that kind of was able to give you any advice? Because I'm sure this past year, I mean, like you said, it was so hectic and crazy, especially on the road. I mean, I'm sure you look back on it and think, man, I wish I wish I had done this different. I wish I'd had somebody to kind of tell me what to do here. Were you able to connect with anybody in Nashville that been able to help you?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people that come to mind when I think of people who have helped us over the last year.
Yeah.
Um, we have a small team here in Idaho, but it's all the friends that I've met along the way that live all over the country that have really, shown out for us. But a lot of if I meet someone in my similar situation, like a younger artist, it's hard because I think a lot of the times, one, especially in Nashville, because one, normally if they're in the same shoes as me, they're usually signed or have a manager or something along those lines. They already have that person. But I tell you what, I've met a lot of really cool songwriters that have helped me out a lot more so. I would say, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, they're artists as well, but they are mostly in that songwriting realm as of right now. And they've helped a ton. And I actually, one guy that, Charlie Stout out of Texas, I guess now he lives in Tucson, but he's been a huge help to me. He's been writing songs for a long time. He's a great artist, great songwriter, and a great guy and a great friend. I mean, he's helped me out a ton.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So most artists that I've talked to, on the show or just in general, there's a piece of what they do that they just really love the most. Like some artists just really enjoy the performing behind their job. A lot of them really enjoy the writing process the most or playing an instrument. What would you say that is your favorite part about what you do?
I think it's a little bit of a combination of two. I love songwriting, but songwriting is to me, and this I think a lot of songwriters are going to disagree with this, but for me, songwriting is not as impactful if you're not playing it live. So I don't want to say like songwriting is useless unless you're playing it in front of a crowd, but I don't write songs for myself,
I
you
know.
know.
I can definitely understand and respect that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love writing my own songs and I love playing my own songs. I don't want to necessarily play someone else's song every single night and have, there's something really special about hearing the crowd sing your lyrics back to you that you wrote. So I don't know. In my mind, when I sit down to write a song, I usually say like, okay, I want to write a song. I want to write my new favorite song. So I write a song and I like it a lot. It's my new favorite song. But then I want to go share it with people. I don't want to hold on to it. And I want to go share it with my fans and play it live. So I would probably say live music, entertaining, because I think if I wasn't hopelessly addicted to playing live music, then I probably just wouldn't do it. It probably wouldn't cost us so much money.
Right.
Yeah, for sure,
But
man.
That's fantastic. Earlier, we talked about your new single that's about to come out, how you had kind of dreamt the song, but where do you pull most of your inspiration from? Just real life experiences, past experiences, or, where do you get your inspiration for all your songs that you write?
when I started songwriting, I only wrote about real experiences that happened to me, but not so much anymore. I mean, I think it's just part of writing a lot of songs is you can't, at 25 years old, I haven't lived enough to write about every single experience and have it be interesting.
Hmm.
Um, and so you got to kind of get creative with it. So a lot of it is from real life experiences. Um, and some of it's not. Some of it is more of a fable-esque um, kind of thing. But there's always a little bit of me in every single song, like, um, I mean, Honky Tonk Heaven, the title track, as well as a lot of these songs are about living on the road and kind of just our experience over 2021.
Hmm.
So as well as Once in a Lifetime. I mean, so a lot of those are, from the heart and they really do have some truth in them.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can definitely
absolutely,
feel
man.
that when I'm listening to your music, man. It's very authentic. It just feels like it came from you, and it's something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
people can resonate with too. So,
Yeah, I'd say 85, 90% of the things I write come from either a feeling or a situation or something that's happened to me personally.
That's awesome. I think that's super important. And again, another thing that just connects your audience with you so much, you know, just the connection they can make through your lyrics and everything. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, it really is. Um, and I don't mean that in like a, oh yeah, it is awesome because I wrote it and it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome because I never thought that it would be so well accepted, I guess. You know, I mean,
Yeah. No, yeah.
once again, I mean,
Yeah.
the people that are listening to our music and our fans, they're great, and I'm shocked every time with how quickly they grab onto something. How quickly, like I drop a teaser for a song, and now they want it tomorrow. I'm like, holy shit! Like this wasn't supposed to happen.
It's got to be a good feeling, though, man. That people are wanting more and more of your music. I mean, as an artist, that's what you are striving for, I would assume, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
For
no. I
sure.
mean, that's great. There really isn't a better feeling as an artist than someone asking you to give them more.
Well, man, we're super excited for the new stuff you've got coming out. I mean, we love the project from last year and then your project before that, Life of a Rolling Stone. So we're super stoked. Obviously, I've heard the single or whatever, but I'm super excited to hear the full cut on digital platforms and the project that's coming up later this year. I think it's going to be fantastic, man. We know the sky's the limit for you, like I said earlier. So we're expecting big things for you.
Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. You know, I mean, once again, thank you guys so much for being a part of it. You know, I mean, it's a huge deal. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll be catching you at the Grand Ole Opry hopefully here soon.
That's
Maybe
right,
if they'll
man.
let me in. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll knock the door down if we have to, man.
That's
We'll,
right.
we'll
Perfect.
get you
I
in there.
appreciate it,
No.
guys.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Colby, why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners where they can find your music, where they can find you on social media, people that may not have heard your music just yet, any new listeners that you may get from this episode.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested and you never heard of me before, my name is Colby Acuff, and you can find me basically on any social media platform by just typing in Colby Acuff. If you're interested in listening to music, same thing. You can just type in Colby Acuff to any streaming platform, and you can find me. I'm usually the ugly guy with the cowboy hat on. Um, but yeah, and we got a new single dropping February 18th called Once in a Lifetime, and we got a lot more music coming out for the next 6 months. So, yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure chatting with you again, Colby. Thanks so much for coming on, man. We always
Yeah,
love
thanks,
talking
man.
to you
We
and catching
we
up.
really
So,
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys, and it's always a pleasure to be on.
for sure. And on that note, we'll go ahead and close the episode out with a little snippet here of Once in a Lifetime by Colby Acuff dropping on February 18th. Y'all keep it country and take care of each other.
I got 5 too many problems for different reasons. I got $3 left from the hotel I paid last night, and I've been